fuck going on, Wailers?
GCI, and that shit gon' fall. Right at that in my bitch to the tone.
Hello everyone and welcome to this another amazing, fantabulous episode of The Follow Through. And we are going to dive into Education Street. You know what this is, people? This is called a cupcake. And I'm tired of this fucking cupcake, Twitter mob, cancel my penis, whatever culture that we live in. It's really a joke. Let's first dive into a Mr. Charles M. Blow. No, he doesn't give blowjobs. Maybe he does. I don't know. But yeah, let's talk about this guy. He wrote an opinion piece recently in the New York Times talking about how Pepe, poor little poo, is a symbol of rape culture. First of all, killing Pepe Le Pew was the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. And Mr. Charles M. Blow is an idiot. He truly is an idiot. Because maybe he was raped by his own pastor or priest, I don't know. But to somehow draw the connection and fabricate it that Pepe Le Pew is a symbol of rape culture just makes no fucking sense. It's like saying 2 + 2 is 78. Really, it's very far-fetched. But yet, this cupcake mentality that we all have, because we've been being fucking fed cupcakes for the last 10 years, has got to stop. Let me tell you what Pepe represented, and you can ask Liz Kelashadi, because she's a certified fucking therapist and deals with this stuff all the time and does wonderful things at the VA. You know, we really deep dove into this because she loves Pepe Le Pew. I mean, who would not love Pepe Le Pew? And if I'm saying the last part of his name wrong, I apologize. I don't speak French, but I do speak Italian, Spanish, and Farsi. So we're good to go there. So to us, you know, like growing up when we watch Pepe, like as a young man, and God forbid you call somebody a man now, but you know what Pepe represented to us? It was like, right, it was a cute cartoon, but it set very important, set very important principles to you as a young man, which was Pepe showed you that if you disrespect women, they push you away, right? If you're too aggressive and you're like, oh, like, you know, come here, sexy, da-da-da, right? Which is what a lot of these cupcakes do these days, right? Sending their dick pics 24/7 to girls. Women will not like that, okay? If you're too loving and just very aggressive and very forceful, it completely backfires on you. If you're too hands-on initially, women won't like it, okay? They'll slap you. If anything, Pepe showed young men how to be chivalrous and respectful towards women because he showed you that you have to be patient, calm, respectful. They just can't go and grab a woman and like present her with flowers and try to kiss her and be forceful because she will slap you and she will run away. So Charles M. Blow was probably blowing some coke up his brain when he made this piece. And it is complete horseshit. I mean, what did he do? Cancel Captain fucking Crunch? One of the best cereals of all time because somehow being a captain is analogous to being a, I don't know, fucking slave trader or like a human trafficker. I mean, that's where we are getting at. And it is ridiculous. Because the irony was when Pepe was canceled, and I don't know if this was true, but I got a bunch of the same kind of photo meme that was going on Instagram, was that there was a mother, right? And she had posted a photo or a Twitter, I don't know what it was, but it was a snapshot of her saying how happy she was that Pepe was canceled because now her son can go back to playing GTA, which is Grand Theft Auto video game, where he can set a hooker on fire and not have to pay for her. If anything, that statement in itself is more representative of what rape culture and disrespecting women is than Pepe Le Pew. And as an academic, as a philosopher in life, as a scientist of life, the connection is not there whatsoever that Pepe Le Pew symbolized rape culture. If anything, as someone who loved 80s and 90s hip-hop, I would say that the modern day trap music and this mumble rap bullshit that people listen to is more symbolic of that. Why doesn't Charles M. Blow go and talk about that instead of a cartoon character that was made in the, I don't know, 1960s or 70s on Looney Tunes? But the reality is Pepe Le Pew actually really showed you as a man, like, wow, I should not go and be that aggressive. I shouldn't go and grab a girl because she won't like it. Because like the cartoon character that he was pursuing, she'll slap you. And guess what? That's how you learn as a man in how to be respectful towards women. You know, this cupcake generation, they gotta stop eating cupcakes. You know, instead of the Twitter mob, you know what we should do? We should call them the virgin mob, because I bet you all these fuckers are virgins, dude. You know, instead of calling them woke, we should call them spanky, because they're spanking it all the time. That's why sales of Vaseline are just skyrocketing through the roof, because people do not know how to interact with other human beings. Men in particular, young men, right? Guys, whatever you want to call them, have no idea how to approach a woman and just talk to her like a human being. That's why they're sitting at home all day, jerking off to somebody on OnlyFans instead of taking the opportunity to be nice and find a meaningful relationship with somebody. So, you know what? The cupcakes, stop feeding your children cupcakes and give them some freaking ribeye steak. It's going to make a difference. Now let's swing to China, because this is some serious shit. When China looks at us right now and they go, wow, these people canceled a cartoon character, they are laughing at the United States. They laugh at the fact that we can, God forbid, if you have a baby boy and he's a penis, you want to call him a boy, or if you have a baby girl and she has a vagina, you want to call her a girl. They think we've lost it mentally. They think that we have so much phetamine in our water that everyone here is an opiate addict. Because these are things that they do not even bother to discuss. You know why? Because they understand science out there. They truly understand science. If they didn't, they would have not uplifted over 300 million people out of poverty and taken dirt back roads and villages that looked worse than Palmdale, California, or that place going to Vegas, ZZYZX Road, and turn them into metropolitan centers. They don't sit around debating what bathroom you have to piss in. No, they know it. You piss standing up or you piss standing down, depending on which genitalia you have. We have brainwashed our country, and the Chinese are laughing because they're like, wow, we have invested billions of dollars into spies infiltrating America, giving people hundreds of millions of dollars to come here, go live in Newport Coast, Pasadena, other places in America. Give them Ferraris, make it look like they have a hedge fund. Send them to to schools. Make them like fancy though. We'll give the kids a McLaren or a Porsche Turbo S to be specific. You know? And right then they're going to go to grad school. They're going to write some research papers. Then we're going to go back and poach them. Right? They're like, wow, we spent all this money on tens of thousands of people. And it all went to waste because the United States has just ruined itself by itself. You know what the Chinese do? Instead of debating what bathroom to piss in, they debate on, do we need a high-speed rail? If it's yes, they go, let's get it fucking done. If it's no, they go, what do we need to do next? Oh, we need to build more schools? We need to build some of the best universities in Asia and the world now? Okay, let's go do that. Oh, and guess what? It doesn't take them 10 years to build a university. They do it like in probably 6 months to a year. No joke. Okay? California. While we've been debating what bathroom to go piss in literally for the last decade, our high-speed rail project began in the year 2000, 21 years ago. Where the fuck is it? They're trying to connect something like, I don't know, in Merced? Who the fuck lives in Merced? I don't even know where Merced is, and I've been in this state for many, many, many years. I was born here. We were supposed to have connected San Francisco to Los Angeles. It should have been up and running years ago. I haven't seen any fucking train tracks. I was under the assumption that we would have been riding high-speed rail last year. But guess what? No, we take billions of dollars from people who live in this state, all the tax money that they collected, and we just piss on it because our politicians are corrupt, and people like Emperor Newsom have taken that money for themselves and bought themselves, wine farms and restaurants and other things. Let me just give you an idea of the difference between us and China, okay? While we're telling, at a young age, we're telling boys that they can no longer be boys or girls can no longer be girls. China, in 2008, began construction for their high-speed rail between Beijing and Shanghai on April 18, 2008. The line opened for public and commercial use on June 30th, 2011. So 3 years and approximately 2 months later, they built a rail system that was 1,318 kilometers. And for our Americans, because we don't fucking know science anymore, that's 819 miles of high-speed rail line. I believe to date it is the longest high-speed rail line ever constructed in a single phase in the world. Okay? Isn't that amazing? I mean, it should blow your mind away. That train travels, I believe, at approximately 200 miles an hour. It is faster to go from Beijing to Shanghai on the high-speed rail than it is with the airplane, because you don't need to show up at the airport God knows how many hours earlier. It takes you about, I believe, close to 4 hours to get there. So while we were jerking each other off in the bathroom for the last 20 years, and we couldn't even build a rail system from San Francisco to Los Angeles, which is half of the distance that the Chinese built between Shanghai and Beijing. It's probably more than half. I mean, LA to San Francisco is, I don't know, probably 400 some miles, right? They built that line in 3 fucking years. Where's our money going? Honestly, where the F is our money going? You want more examples of while we're trying to brainwash little kids in school that they should be transgender and fucking confusing them? Let me tell you what else the Chinese have done. In 2000, I believe it was 18 or 19, the Chinese built a 56-story high-rise building in 19 days. They worked around the clock. You'll never get that type of efficiency in America, because half the time the fuckers want more money, half the time they're trying to sue the developer. No, dude, they built it in 19 days. That is embarrassing for us in the United States. We can't even build a 1-story apartment with 2 rooms in 19 days. It'll fucking take us 19 years. When COVID happened, now it doesn't matter how you feel about this whole COVID situation, okay? The bottom line is the Chinese built a COVID hospital in Wuhan in 10 days with 4,000 ICU beds. Where the fuck was America? You're telling me Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, all these other big cities, none of them were able to do this? Are we that fat? And are we eating that many fucking cupcakes that we're that fat and that lazy and that lethargic and that self-entitled that we can't be better than that? I mean, how embarrassing is that, right? I remember we were personally talking with the mayor's office of Los Angeles, and the fucker's gonna get mad, but he's gotta know this. And I was working with another team, great woman, and I don't want to say her name just because I didn't ask her if she wants to, if I could say her name, but a great, just smart, ambitious woman, because she had a property out in downtown LA that was adjacent to Staples Center. It was massive. It was like 150,000 square feet. I mean, the thing was huge. And I approached the mayor's office, got him in touch with my friend to say, hey, let's build some ICU beds in there. She said, the building's good to go. It has electricity, it has water and power. Like we can bring in beds. We can design it with the Army Corps of Engineers. She's like, it should be able to, I don't know, she's like fit like 2,000 beds, depending on how you want to space it. She's like, if you convert parking to temporary ICU beds, she's like, probably put more beds. Guess what the mayor's office of LA said? They said, we don't need those beds because we don't have a COVID problem in LA. And our response to them was, well, you put everybody on lockdown, so you must have a problem. But what happens when we come out of lockdown? Because if you took a fucking science class, you'd realize that you'd have a lockdown, you'd come back out, and then the cases would go up again because you're not getting rid of the virus. It's like when AIDS came into America in the 80s, right? If you sent everyone home, AIDS would still be around when people came back out and they started fucking each other left and right, right? They didn't think. Like, there was a clear example that they should have remembered. That was the world's worst pandemic to have hit us, which was about, a couple decades ago. They said we don't have a COVID problem. They said we're not worried about surges once we reopen. So clearly, when you hear shit like that, you could tell that these politicians are self-interested and that they purposely locked us down. While by the time summer came last year, dude, Chinese people were having a wonderful time, dude. They were going to fucking water parks, concerts. I mean, they went back to life real quick. We got our asses handed to us. We watched as our freedom was taken away from us. We watched as our neighbors were struggling to eat, pay rent. People were losing their fucking jobs because these dumb politicians instead want to waste more time as to what bathroom you have to piss in versus doing the things that are important. You know what the difference between China and America is? Chinese people don't give a fuck about our sensitivities. You can always talk shit about some, a person, a thing, a team, but sometimes you gotta look at the positives. Right? Their government is communistic, but guess what? Their economy is very capitalistic. It's very unique. And you gotta give them hands down. When they wanna get something done, they do it. No bullshit. We're trying to build high-speed rail in California for 2 decades, and our dickhead of a dick pic governor canceled the project and took the money for himself, most likely. China started their project 8 years after our initial project was supposed to begin. And they finished it in 3 fucking years. How are you not mad about that? Are you telling me that America does not have the capability to build anymore, the capability to do anything? It is embarrassing. It is so fucking embarrassing. Like, you look at LA, dude, it's a shithole, dude. There's homeless everywhere, right? They don't do anything about that. The roads are fucking horrendous. I was at work today, and I was talking with a customer that walked in, and we were talking about how ever since, the presidency changed, gas has skyrocketed across the country. I wonder why. And, and we live in California where our governor keeps jacking up the tax on fuel only to pocket himself, but there's no repairs. We don't have any Autobahn. Like, if we're like, dude, yeah, if we're going to pay $1 on our fucking taxes and gasoline, which is why California's gas is so expensive, like, if that tax was not so high, we would be relatively the same to most of the country. We'd probably be about 50 to 60 cents more than most of the country because just cost of business is so expensive, but we wouldn't be at $4.50 a gallon. We'd probably be at least at between $3 to $3.50 a gallon, But we're like, dude, if we had the Autobahn, like, you could go 120 miles an hour in a proper fast lane, and they wanted to raise the tax, you go, you know what, dude, like, the road is immaculate, I get to go really fast, I get to drive like a human being. But no, dude, no, we're like, dude, the roads are so bad that, suspensions keep breaking, right? Your bumper keeps cracking. The city ain't gonna fucking pay for that. They just want more money. They are like, what the city is? They're like the cupcakes that they have bred over the last 10 years, which is give me a cupcake. I need a cupcake. No, dude, fuck you, man. You don't need a cupcake. You need to go on a diet. You need to learn how to make that dollar travel like it's $1 million. You need to make that dollar travel like you need to make that dollar travel 1,000 miles. Because right now what they're doing is they want $1 million to travel 1/8 of a mile. So it's embarrassing. People don't realize that. I went to China in 2012, and what people don't realize, and I was saying it from back then, is the magnitude in which they can build is amazing. And I've had some jackasses tell me, oh, well, their stuff isn't good, da-da-da, right? I'm like, dude, as if things in America are better. So if they build 5 cities in a month, the size of Los Angeles, and like 90% of their buildings are great, what's wrong with that? For us, 85% of our buildings are crap here. Our roads are terrible. We have no infrastructure. Let me give you another idea of how amazing the Chinese are. I think it was around 2008. God, don't butcher me, people, but it was right around the first year that Formula F1 is going to take place in Shanghai, and they're going to have, I think, like the World Economic Forum in Shanghai as well. Shanghai is a city with about 24 million people. And so the city got together to try to combat like how they're going to deal with the excess human flow and traffic coming into a city which is already at its like beyond its limit. They said we have to make a light rail system for the city of Shanghai so people can get around the city from the outskirts to the inner skirts, okay? Relatively easy and quick. So they brainstorm, right? I mean, I bet you somebody's like, we should make teleportation devices, and they're like, listen, like, you know, like that's a great idea, but we're just not there yet. So they decided to make they decided to make the light rail, okay? You wouldn't believe me, but they finished it in 6 months. I mean, just not long ago, they had a bridge. I forget if it was in Shanghai or Beijing. I mean, it was a massive bridge. Like, to give you an idea, if you live, like, in Los Angeles, it would be like when you're traveling, I don't know. Like, let's say you're going down to downtown, right? Where, like, the 101, 10, 5, 60, all those horrendous fucking freeways meet, and you got all those overpasses. It was something like that, but bigger, right? They demolished it and put it back together in, I think, 2 days. I mean, it's ridiculous because they had to make it bigger. They did it in 2 days. I mean, unheard of. Unheard of. We have a government and a society of lazy people who don't want to do anything. They just want to sit there and debate and talk about fictitious things that have no relevance to science and society, and then they somehow want to make it relevant because they've been being fed fucking cupcakes. Whereas in China, dude, they get shit done, and you gotta give them credit for that. There's no excuse as to why we are so slow and inept in getting things done. Los Angeles should truly have an Autobahn. They should have a proper passing lane where you can go up to 120 miles per hour to pass the shit out of people. And I think between 2 to 5 a.m., Monday through Friday, you should be able to go up to 150 miles an hour. But our roads are shit, right? But guess what? If they were to repave everything, put them to German standards and European standards, our traffic times would be so greatly reduced in this city. 90% of the time when I hit traffic on the freeway, it's because you have 3 fuckers sending dick pics from the fast lane to the second lane and to the third lane. And they're all going the same stupid speed. So I'm just saying, we need to stop feeding people cupcakes. I'm tired. You know what you do with the cupcake? The next time you encounter a cupcake, this is what you do. You open the cupcake, you get the fucking cupcake, okay, and you smash it. That's what you do to a cupcake. You smash the cupcake, okay? I'm tired of these cupcakes, man. So annoying. Got some cupcakes on me right now. But we have really got to stop this mentality. We have really got to focus on the things that are important in this country. We have got to start doing shit. We have got to stop electing idiots who all they do is just talk and not get anything done. Our governments, from our governors, our mayors, to our, congresswomen and congressmen, our senators, they are just a bunch of fat fucks who are lazy and we're not getting anything done. And while we're sitting on our ass debating what bathroom to piss in, or if a girl is a girl, the Chinese are building high-speed rail, building universities, building homes for their population, uplifting 300 million people out of fucking poverty. They are the leaders in 5G. They're the leaders in semiconductor materials. They are the leaders in they will be the leaders eventually in, I believe it's called laser light communication. They have some of they are right now at the forefront of pharmaceuticals. We have 9 years to get our shit together. If we don't, people cannot complain why their lives are miserable here. And it's not going to get better with minimum wage increases. No, that's going to make your life more miserable. No, we need to focus on the things that will improve the quality of life. We need high-speed rail in the United States. We do need it. Because I'll tell you this. The Dr. Seuss thing about the Chinese man, eating noodles. I'm going to tell you, the 1.4 plus billion people in China don't give a fuck about that. Because you know what they're focused on? Excelling in math, science, chemistry, physics. Excelling at their academics. Excelling at making their country the best possible place for everyone to enjoy. Excelling in the future of future technologies. Of pharmaceuticals, medicine, space, their military. That's what they're focused on. So if we don't get our act together, we're going to get our asses beat, and we won't even last 5 seconds in the first round. So I hope you've enjoyed that wonderful episode. And remember, the next time you see a cupcake, just get it, shove it, and throw it in someone's face, because we don't need more cupcakes. Okay? And on a side note, if you haven't had a jarrito, it is amazing. I've loved this drink since I was a child. You should really try it. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please tell all your friends, your grandparents, all about us, your mistresses. And we hope to catch you soon. Don't forget to click subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. And we just hope you really enjoyed this. Take care, everyone.
What the fuck going on, Wailers? GCI, and that shit gon' fall.